I'll be there to protect you in a heartbeat.
Welcome back, movie fans. Today we are diving into a movie that's just as bizarre as it is intriguing, blending elements reminiscent of Pee-wee's Playhouse meets a little bit of Mr. Rogers, a little bit of Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street, even some Candyman, and even the animatronic horrors of Five Nights at Freddy's. Join me as we unpack the curious and mysterious case of Mr. Crocket. But first, let's get the conversation going in the comments below. Let me know if this is a film you all were excited to check out. But more importantly, once you've seen this film, let's talk about your likes, your dislikes, favorite moments, least favorite moments, and let me know what are some of your favorite movies to watch during this time of the year, which is Halloween. Let's talk about it all in the comments below. In 1993, a mysterious children's show host, Mr. Crocket, magically emerges from the television sets to kidnap young children, brutally slaying their parents in the process. After Mr. Crocket snatches her son, one determined mother embarks on a perilous quest to track down the demonic entertainer and rescue her boy. Alright, so let's get into my breakdown and review of this film. Now, at first glance, Mr. Crocket promises an exhilarating ride with his unique blend of innocence and horror. Now, you have to admit, that's a pretty wild recipe, right? However, after the credits roll, I couldn't help but feel like the film had some excellent ingredients, but just didn't quite bake right. Now, one of the standout elements for me in this film was undoubtedly the practical effects and the puppetry. Some of the visuals are just downright impressive, showcasing a level of craftsmanship that definitely deserves a round of applause. Now, for my horror fans out there, I gotta admit this film definitely delivered in the horror department, especially when it comes to the kills. I definitely gotta say it has some extremely gruesome moments. I honestly think this film definitely took some creative liberties when it came to the horror department that might make even some of the more seasoned fans squirm in their seats. I'm always one of the horror fans that always judge a horror movie based on its first kill, and I gotta say that first kill definitely set the tone for what the rest of the film had to offer when it comes to those more gruesome and horrific scenes. Now, getting into my thoughts on some of these performances, I thought that Elvis Nolasco was so eerie as Mr. Crocket. As I mentioned earlier, not only does he tap into his Mr. Roger bags, but he definitely has some moments of Candyman meets Freddy Krueger. Like, he definitely delivered in the performance and definitely brought some of the more entertaining elements out of this film. Now, when it comes to Mr. Crocket, I thought that he had such an interesting backstory, and I was just waiting for it to be fleshed out more, but the script, well, let's just say it's a little bit lacking in that department. Now, speaking of the script, don't even get me started on the dialogue in this film. At times it felt unbearably chunky, like a bad sitcom where the laughs never came. Yet somehow with Elvis's delivery, it was unintentional enough to elicit a chuckle or two. I'll admit, this is one of those cases where I just couldn't tell if the film was trying to be funny or if it was just, well, failing at doing so. Now, another thing that comes to mind as far as my criticisms with this film is I talked about the great performance and the eerie nature of Mr. Crocket, but unfortunately with everyone else in the supporting roles, even our lead character in this film, I never really found their performance to be enticing or engaging or compelling, especially when it comes to relationships between the mothers and the sons and the fathers and the daughters. A lot of the supporting cast and a lot of the main cast, besides Mr. Crocket, didn't really offer me anything in their performances. Now, here's where things get a little bit more disappointing when it comes to the narrative of this film. The film hints at a more deeper narrative about parental neglect in this movie, a theme that I thought could have been incredibly compelling. Yet, it misses the boat completely to explore the nuance, leaving us with an open door that never walked through. Again, to me, this just speaks to the shortcomings of the script, because there's an idea there of how Mr. Crocket finds his victims, also how the children are able to communicate with him. There's just so much left to imagination on the understanding and the explanation of the supernatural things that are going on in this film that really was never explored. Now, despite some of the narrative shortcomings, the film isn't a total wash. It's certainly more entertaining than most of the Hulu originals I've seen, especially in the horror realm. Again, the kills and the effects add enough thrills to keep you engaged, even if they don't necessarily scare you out of your seat. Now, before we get into my final thoughts, and I'll give you all my rating of Mr. Crocket and if it's worth checking out, I want to thank you all for making it to this point in the review. If you enjoyed yourself so far, make sure you hit that like button, share your thoughts on this film, as well as sharing this video to anyone and everyone you know that might be interested in watching this film. And last but not least, consider sticking around by subscribing to the channel and hitting that bell notification. Overall, at the end of the day, Mr. Crocket is like that odd dish at a dinner party, interesting but not quite satisfying. To me, it's clear that there was a lot of potential here, and while the execution leaves a lot to be desired, it offers a feast of bizarre moments that may keep you entertained. So let me know in the comments, what did you all think about Mr. Crocket that will be coming to Hulu on October 11th? After hearing my review, do you all think this film is worth diving into, the curious experience, or does it sound like this might be one you might skip out on? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Many more reviews coming soon. Hope you all enjoyed this one, and don't forget, you all are awesome, stay safe, and I'll catch you all on the next video.